Congratulations on getting your child involved in Junior Speakers League. JSL is a unique program with raised expectations for children's behavior and performance. In fact, we ask children to try to behave in meetings as they imagine their parents would behave in a meeting. To try to make this happen, we begin by making sure members have a level of readiness that will allow them to succeed, with help from home and fine-tuning at club meetings. You can check out Junior Speakers League's Readiness Guidelines at speakersleague.com/readiness. If your child needs assistance meeting these guidelines, you or an aide you provide may be asked to be present until they can. Regardless of whether you're in the meetings with your child or dropping off, the club chairperson counts on you to make sure your child is prepared when they arrive at the meeting. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch the club meeting highlight video to see what happens in a typical Speakers League meeting. If you haven't, I suggest that you watch it or skim it first with your child at speakersleague.com/video. Junior Speakers League meetings run much the same, with members' roles rotating from meeting to meeting. Your child will have a much better experience if you help out in the following ways, and feel free to ask your club chairperson any questions about these. Start by being on the communication loop for your club and pay attention to it. Add your child to the loop as well if they have an email address, and encourage your child to pay attention to it as well. Know where to find the club schedule, bookmark it, and put it where your child can easily find it too. Be sure your child knows how to find and access available club training videos. Your club chairperson can direct you or provide necessary sign-in credentials. Sit down and go through the member handbook from beginning to end with your child, starting with the table of contents, which is on both sides, front and back, of the first page of your handbook. You can also do this while following along with our tour of the handbook video available with the club training videos. Talk with your child about the club code of conduct at the beginning of the handbook and sign the page along with your child. Find out what your club's dress code is and help your child meet it. Help prepare your child for their role at the upcoming meeting each time until your child is able to confidently prepare and perform it himself. Read together about the role in the handbook and make sure your child can pronounce the words if they're expected to read the explanation of their role. And point out if there is any icon in the handbook indicating that your child should stand up or stay seated for their role, and watch any relevant training videos for that role. Your child's role might be to give a speech. Each level in JSL involves giving 6 speeches. If a training video about the speech is available, watch that with your child as well. In the basic level, members must use a speech worksheet that we require them to speak from. We insist on this for 2 reasons. First, because we want to show members that speeches are just a way of answering questions that the audience would want to know. Secondly, the worksheets also help us achieve our goal of training members to speak from brief notes and their topic knowledge rather than writing out their speeches word for word, which always sounds unnatural. So if their role at the upcoming meeting is to give a speech, you can help brainstorm with them to fill in the words or brief phrases on their speech worksheet. Again, in the basic level, no add-on speech notes or pages are permitted beyond their worksheet. To further help your child with their speech, time their practices. If they'd rather practice without you watching, provide them with a timer and encourage them to practice aloud while timing themselves. The minimum time for a basic level speech is 3 minutes, and the maximum is 5.5 minutes. You might also video record their practice run-throughs for them to watch. We recommend that members follow what we call the Rule of 3, which is to have their worksheet completely filled out at least 3 days before their speech, and that they practice their speech out loud with a timer until they can meet the 3 to 5.5 minute time goal 3 times in a row. Plus they have good eye contact and they like how it's sounding. If it's coming up short, they need to add more material or provide more details. For the focus on gestures, focus on vocal variety, and focus on visual aids speeches, we recommend that you help them understand these concepts, watching the training videos on these speeches with them, and helping to make sure that they're using the skills when practicing their speeches. Most clubs will video record the speeches given at the meetings and send an unlisted link to the member for self-evaluation. When you receive the email with the video link, it will also include a link to a self-evaluation form. The member should fill out the self-evaluation form while watching their speech video. After the self-evaluation form is completed, it should be returned to the club chairperson. The chairperson will typically have completed their own executive evaluation of the speech, which they will then share with you. It's usually expected that self-evaluations be turned in before the next speech is given, so encourage your child to complete it as soon as you receive it. Some chairpersons will not allow future speeches to pass if there are any self-evaluations that have not been turned in. Your child is in for a great educational and fun experience that will help him or her overcome or bypass the typical fears people face with public speaking. While helping your child get launched with the club can seem like a lot to pay attention to and do at first, you'll find that the investment was worthwhile. It won't take many meetings before you'll see your child's progress in confidence and taking responsibility for their club experience. Thanks so much for letting us be a partner with you in your child's development and success. If you have other questions, please reach out to your club chairperson.